Hey, good morning everyone. Riley Foster here. Enjoying a nice cup of coffee on a Saturday morning. I come down to the shop. It needs cleaned, but I prefer to work on projects. And I've got a problem with my lathe. These are quick tool quick tool changes for the lathe. The problem is, I did a job yesterday for a customer and a good neighbor of mine, and every time I went to find one of these, they were either in the drawer, on the shelf, in the tool post, or God only knows where. And they shouldn't be that way. Not only are they extremely expensive, you kind of want to be able to put your hands on them to speed up machining, because machining takes a long time and my time is worth money. So if I can speed it up, it's better for me and it's better for the customer. So I'm going to show you what I got in mind, and we'll go from there and see if it works. So hold on one second. All right, we're back, and I'm going to show you these tool posts. The dilemma is, again, first of all, these things are very expensive, and they're quick connect tool posts. You just drop them in place on the lathe. But again, they're either in the drawer. The one I need doesn't have the right tooth on it, and that's why you have several. So what I wanted to do is find a way to mount it on the wall. What I come up with, I hope that's in there. Let me check and see. Yeah, that's pretty good. So what I did was I wanted to be able to mount these to the wall so that they were post out. I could reach them, easily access, and get a hold of them. Well, the problem is you don't want to just put them in a box and all bang together, because these guys are extremely expensive. Again, now they don't break easy, but if you hit that tip on a piece of steel, it'll break that tip off. Anybody that does machining knows these are very expensive to replace. So what I wanted to do, one of the things, was make it to where that would lock on to, and I cut some steel, these are rough obviously, like that. Well, then if I try to lift that up and out, I'm afraid that I'll drop the thing because I'll have oily hands. So what I wanted was a notch out here, and as you can see, there's not a lot of room. I come up with this idea. I'm going to make these today and attach them to a plate that I bolt onto the plywood. So what that does is when I set this against the wall, it will drop in place and it will rest against the wall. And when I need, I can pull it out. Excuse me. When I need, I can pull it out and get it out of there without it falling off. So we'll see how far we get with this today. I've got to cut 6 of these out. Now, normally they don't need to be that far apart, but I also don't want them bumped together. So what we're looking at is roughly, I'm gonna go ahead and make, I think 6 of them, 1, 2, 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and make 6. I'm sure I'm gonna have another one sometime soon. So I'm gonna do them, the piece that I mount to the plywood is gonna be 16 inches long. And then I'll weld that onto the steel plate, and then that way they can drop in, lift out, and come out without dropping in the floor. Because like I said, these things are very expensive. So let's see where we get. This was a template. I wanted to make sure that that was the right size and length. And this is not going to be machining. More than likely, this is just going to be rough cut material. It's not needed to be machined. It needs to hold these tools. So let's see where we get on this thing. All right, we're at the bandsaw. What I've been doing is been cutting the small 2 1/4 inch long pieces. And I wanted to reiterate this. If the camera moves, it's because it's sitting on steel and I'm on the steel also. But guys, it takes an extra minute to put your safety gear on. Don't forget your hearing. You know, it's important. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up and cut a couple of these. I think I've still got enough in there to do. I don't actually. So hold on one second. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the 3-inch piece. This is 3" by 1/8". Now I could lay it up like that, but it sounds like death. It cuts good and it cuts quick, but it's so loud. And so I'm gonna cut it laying flat down. Go ahead and get my 16 inches here. There we go. Now, again, notice I'm grabbing my earmuffs because this isn't terribly loud, but again, I want to save my hearing. All right, where to drill press? What I'm going to do is try to drill these out, again, without stepping on this metal, because that's all my shop is, full of metal. Now you notice I am literally not going to center mark, dimple, and all that. This is not machine perfect. I can guesstimate where these holes are going to be. And the biggest reason is, it doesn't matter, but for two, I have done this so often. And I gotta say, clean that off right there. Well, there we go. And yes, those are sharp. So again, we're just saying, yeah, that's in about 3/8, 1/4 inch, something to that nature. And obviously you can't see if my hand's in the way. All right, I had to move that camera. First of all, you couldn't even see what I was doing. Get a little bit of leverage here so I can push this bit through. Again, guys, this ain't brain surgery. Oh, now see if it snags like that. That's okay. Yep. If this were a massive drill press, obviously you would not be holding it by hand. This one does snag sometimes, and it will sling a piece of steel around in circles, but I've been doing this quite some time. I know about when it's going to go through, and that looks pretty good right there. These are just 4 holes to hold this to that plywood on the wall. Yeah, there you go. I'll clean that up, and we'll get back over here and start notching out those pieces. All right, guys, I got to cut those tabs. I figured I'd go ahead and try to cut all 6 of them at one time. So let's see how this works out. All right, that looks pretty good. I'll step over here, See if I can get in the way. That is really close. See if we can't drop that down just a little bit more. Now, what that gives me is all five. Actually, there's five. I'm going to use the template for the sixth one. So what I got to do now is I'm going to pinch this, hold it in place, rotate it, and get this angle up here. Bite down on that. And again, these are all rough cut for obvious reasons. I'm not going to machine these things perfect. It's just not needed. Matter of fact, I'm going to get that a little bit tighter. Something like that. You want to buy a vise. This is an incredible vise. I've had it for probably over a decade. Just get something that's got a good bite to it and that'll last. Now, I wasn't going to machine that off, but that's a pretty crappy cut, as far as I'm concerned anyway. So I'm gonna actually put this in the mill. Hold on one second. As I'd said, I wasn't gonna do this, but that thing came out so rough. I'm gonna try to see if I can't just take a little bit off of there. Almost make it look like I wanted to be slightly professional. Alright, so I need to do that. I made this fly cutter, one of my first projects. I'm going to try to take a pretty good pass here. Yes, you see that thing is way off. I'm trying to give you a close-up of this. So each time I do that, I go back, and I'm going to pause it. All right, we're going back in it again. Yeah, we're just about down there where we want to be. I'm going to say one more small pass. Hold on one second. All right, this last pass, we're just taking off 20 thousandths to clean it up. Again, I built that fly cutter That was one of my first projects when I got my lathe and my milling machine. And I gotta say, that thing sure does clean up some metal. Let's run it on out of there. Hold on 1 minute. Alright, so I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna machine these down, but I'm already at the machine and I wanted to get that one bad spot. So this will be the last pass. And I'm taking about 40 thousandths off. That's a pretty good clean cut right there. Now about the only thing I need to do is hit them with a file, weld them onto a plate. Yeah, that's that fly cutter that I made. Now you would think, I'm not a machinist. Never proclaimed to be one, didn't go to machining school. But I built this here. Thread tapped and died this, drilled it out, cut the angle notch out the back for this cutting tool, and that fits all my cutting heads. So that's the fly cutter. So let's go back to the welding table and get this thing put together. All right, guys, I'm gonna set up right quick and see if I can't weld these out. I'm gonna use the little wire welder. Let's see where. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is this will be the last part. Well, obviously I may paint it, but they're going to set just like that. I don't even know if the camera can see that. Let's see here. Yeah. It'll set just like that on that line, and that tool post will hook. Excuse me. Just like that. And it'll hang off of there, and it'll keep it from falling off. And when I need them, I'll just take them off. So I'm going to go ahead and put these things together. Hold on 1 second, let me get my welding helmet on and my fans running. Alright, last step here, we're going to weld this thing right quick. Now's as good a time as any. Always remember, guys, like, share, comment, leave me some information, whether you think these videos are helpful to someone who wants to hang a tool post, or if you just like me doing work in the shop, seeing some of the tools I use, some of the tools I make. And again, this is not brain surgery, so I'm not going to go all getting the equipment and leveling and all this. I can sight these pretty close. Small tap there. Now that's all it takes, and I can tap it if it needs to be tapped over. I see one of my concerns, I may have made this too tight to where the welds get in the way. If they do, I can soften those up as soon as I figure out if they're in the way or not. So. Again, you notice there's my little tool that holds my nozzle all the time. You can go back and look at videos on how I made that. It's pretty simple. Stay out of the way. I don't need to get weld splatter all over those. Also, guys, remember, it won't be long. I'm going to start the classes on introductory to welding. If you're local and you're interested, you can email me at fosterscustomsteel@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to, well, if I ever check my email. But I will. I'm getting better at it. I'll see if I can't get back in touch with you if you're local and you're interested in something like that. And what this does is it's to introduce you to welding, to see if you're interested in it, or if you realize, oh crap, this stuff is not for me. So again, one more tab, and I'm thinking this might be ready to clean up, and I might paint it, I'm not sure. All right. We don't want to grab a hold of that right now. Let's see. That looks like that's going to hold just fine. Yes. So when I mount that to the wall, I can reach and grab that tool post and not worry about it hitting the floor. So there you go, guys. Remember to like, share, comment, ring the bell, whatever else it is that you do for YouTube. And if you're interested again in the possibility of classes that we're going to give, I'm hoping to start those up either in December or January. We're going to again, it'll be introductory to welding. What will happen is I'm going to do about a 20 or 30 minute introductory in the classroom, just to let you know what's going on and what we're going to do. And then we're going to come in the shop. We're going to put a welder in your hand, get you protected up. If you have a helmet and gloves, great, bring them. If not, that's okay. We'll work something out. But you get to see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 welders, different applications that you get to try, and we're probably looking at about $100 for the classes. I'm not sure. We're going to play with that and find out how many people. We're going to probably take about 5 or 6 people at one time, and you'll probably wind up getting a couple of hours in the class or in the shop. So there's a lot of stuff to do. I'm going to keep doing the videos and the little projects. Again, that might be too hot to grab a hold of, but this is one of those projects I did for myself. I could not keep track of these doggone tool posts. So remember to like, share, comment, and thanks, and have a great day.